photo.
Oh, did you?
Behind the scenes.
Oh, very good. Oh, yeah, we are live. Oh, wait, where's Scooch in?
Okay. Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hey.
Hey, it's three.
It's
three knitters.
I know.
We're trying to figure out how
I
to
should
fit
have
three
worn
people.
green, I guess.
You didn't get the green memo, did you?
I don't have a green sweater. I don't think.
Well, we're
no.
blue and green.
Blue and
Yeah.
green. So that is so pretty.
I know.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
like her blue
I
blouse.
might have to
Looks
take
like
it
a
off though.
Bowden blouse.
It's pretty warm
Yeah.
in here.
Yep, it's a toasty
Ah.
spot.
Hey,
Welcome.
Welcome to our weekly podcast, Knit at the Bar. And today we have a special guest. So I'm Linda and Sue, and this is Hannah
Hello.
Ginn from Circus Tonic. I had to really work hard at correcting, not saying.
I'm not saying
Gin.
gin. Yeah, well, we are at the bar. So.
Yeah, I know. It makes so much sense.
We're so lucky to have Hannah here. She's
Thank you.
she's from far, far away.
Yep. I
Far
live
away.
I live in
With
Adelaide.
Shrek.
The land of far, far away.
All the green. Yeah. But yeah, we've travelled up here to Montana to visit Yarn Bar. So we have had a lot of fun.
It's been wonderful.
It's
I
been
know.
such a great
It's
trip. So much
I
fun.
love that there's actually some expected connections, but unexpected connections as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the yarn community, isn't it? Like you dig under the surface, and we're all so similar, but it's a small community, and that's what I love about it.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Could not agree more. We're going to be chatting with Hannah about her yarn, which is lovely.
oh yeah, a lot of fun.
We might get into some other miscellaneous things with Hannah too. But we have a few little housekeeping things.
Right. So
that we do every week.
When you subscribe and comment on our most latest video, you get to your name in for a prize. And so last week's prize was this 12 skein kit from Ikigai Fiber with
A
the
sport
12
weight
colors.
rainbow.
Yep. And this week's winner is Carolyn Quillisi. I hope I pronounced that
Sorry,
right.
Carolyn.
You should totally tell us if we're butchering it, but this is yours. So
is
we'll just contact us. We might have your
think we
address,
have our address.
but give us a ring or a contact so we can
pop it
get
out
that to
to
you.
we
Maybe
talked
you'll-
about embroidery on knits, and we talked about smelly balls.
Yes, we did talk about smelly balls. We sold out of our smelly
We
balls.
sold out of our smelly balls.
So they're Australian, aren't they?
They are.
I saw the packets, and I realize I see them often hanging in cars and
Yep.
different colors.
Yes, that's where you want to hang them freely from your
Freely.
rear view mirror.
We have more smelly balls on the way.
Yes,
so
don't dismay.
despair.
We'll have plenty of smelly balls to stuff in your stockings on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, so they're on their way. And then we have. So yesterday, Hannah was here all day. We had a great people wandering in to check out the
it was
yarn.
busy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was. It
really
was
fun.
Lots of people. It was
This
really
time
good.
of year on a Monday, we're kind of like, but it was wonderful. So, and there was a door prize for
Yes.
everyone who came in yesterday, and so
Shall I show you what's in it?
Yes,
Some
yes,
exciting
do.
things. So we made these up and sent them ahead. Let's see if we can have a look. But
Yeah.
I mean, the really exciting thing, and any Aussies watching will know, there's some Haig's chocolates in there.
Let's see if we can.
The freckles. So it's a local Adelaide
Oh,
business,
it's
but
Adelaide.
there's-
Okay.
there's
So
now
when you
shops
say
around
freckles,
Australia.
aren't
So-
these are those called freckles, or are they the hundreds of
The actual
thousands?
chocolate's called a freckle, the whole
Oh,
thing. But they
okay.
are hundreds and thousands. That's what we call
Yeah,
them.
that's what they call
Hundreds
the
and
sprinkles, are called
Yeah.
hundreds and thousands.
Is that an Aussie thing? Hundreds and thousands?
I feel
I
like
think
it
That's what we call
I've
them.
never
I
heard
think so.
that.
Yeah,
because
and
there's hundreds. And
Oh, yeah.
thousands,
we often send
apparently.
those because of the speckle, connection.
And you don't know how hard it is for us
to not eat them.
I know.
Oh, there's a funny
Look
story
at
about
for
that
us.
for another time. So then we also have our custom tough woolens. So a lot of Americans would know tough woolens, and that's our custom scent. So there's lavender, eucalyptus, lemon, and vetiver.
Nice.
So it's a little hand balm.
Beautiful scent.
And then you've got some hoshuku lace.
Pretty.
And a sock set. And also one of these nice
Those
drawers.
sachets are nice.
Sachets.
Mm-hmm.
Smells really good.
Really good.
So we did draw this
Mm-hmm.
this morning. And it is Alyssa Mann.
Yay!
Who
Alyssa.
won. So we did meet you
Hope you-
yesterday,
yes.
so congratulations.
You and your little baby.
Yep.
And your awesome crochet jumper that you had. So
Yeah.
congratulations, you've won the Lucky Door prize.
Yay.
So, one thing that we asked you, because we weren't
Maybe
sure
she'll share these.
how to pronounce the base that we have, the
it's
Dathliad.
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 Yeah.
And of course, I didn't know what that meant. So,
I don't know what that
and
means.
so, but the bases that you just talked about too, I'm not sure what they mean
Okay, so
either.
all our bases are named, the names are named after celebrations, parties, gatherings. So, you know, our first base we ever had was Revelry.
Oh,
That, we don't actually have that one anymore. So Dathliad's actually a Welsh word for celebration party.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I just kept with the theme. I love a naming convention. I kept with the theme.
Shouldn't there be like a hen party?
Well, I
Party.
mean, yeah, there's fate, there's ceremony, there's so many. And
And this
Hoshuku,
one?
that's Japanese.
Okay, for
Yeah.
celebration.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
So,
nice base.
And this one, what have we got? Crunad. Now, what was that? Was that Irish? I can't remember now what language that is. Same thing though. It will mean wedding
just a
and
party.
fate, obviously. Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like it might be in the same vein as Dathliad.
Yeah, I think maybe it is Norse. You'll
Well,
have to
what
look it
is
up. There's
this,
so
you
many
guys?
now.
What is this?
Oh, this is the one
our
for next
color,
week.
our special color though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That
that's
she
the
dyed for
surprise
us.
colour.
Yep, the
So-
surprise color. Honestly, they all were surprises because
Yeah.
we got some extra colors too. But she
Yeah.
has titled this "My Island Home."
Yep.
I'll let you talk about that.
Well, this one, because I knew your daughter lives in Brisbane, and that's another connection between us, because I was born there. But I was thinking of sort of in Queensland, you've got the Barrier Reef, you've got rainforests, you've got water, you've got heat, humidity, as we were talking about. So I wanted to make these jade and turquoise colours with some, you know, there's purple, violet, gold, copper speckles.
It's what the water looks like.
Yeah, it depends how deep it is, but that's definitely a colour you'll see a lot around
yeah.
the Barrier Reef. So, yeah, that was and I think a lot of people loved it yesterday. It
Oh,
was really
yeah,
good. So,
they really did.
So
was
we will
pleased.
be giving, when you comment, you know, of course, subscribers comment this week, and we'll be
one of
drawing,
these.
and we'll give one of those away.
So this is
Yeah.
a BFL. Dathliad is a blue-faced Leicester and nylon blend. So good for socks, and it's got a nice tight ply.
Alyssa's watching, so
forever.
she knows she won.
Oh, good. Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations.
So
yeah.
yeah, so that base is really good for socks,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and they just last longer than merino
Long
blends.
lasting.
But they're super soft, and it's a bit toothy. So if you want to do color work, so we had a lot of people sort of picking up fades or complementary colors that go nicely
Nice.
together.
That would be
And you can
gorgeous
use it for
together.
colour work.
Yeah.
Really pretty.
Yeah, it just fills in the gaps a little bit more.
This is a nice base. We don't have this for a sock base, and except for yours.
Yeah.
And I love having that. It
Yeah.
seems like it takes the dye
Pretty
in
well.
a
It does.
really nice way.
And it's subtle,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's not sort of
It's not,
so
"Woo."
blurry. I mean, I can I try to do a few nice sort of really speckly fun ones that people love, but on the whole you get a watercolor kind of theme.
Yeah, I like
So-
that. Somebody did ask us, because we posted something about, you know, ask any questions,
Oh, yeah?
and we did get one that was, what inspires you?
Oh, wow. Well, a lot of things. Travel, for one, which is why I'm here. But mainly, most of my inspiration will come from Australian fauna and flora. So, and minerals. I have a science background, so I do like doing deep dives into specific themes. So I've done a whole ranges of butterflies, Australian native butterflies. Shells is another really good one for neutrals, for sweaters. I mean, if you can think of it like gemology, heaps and heaps of different things I pull from, and even space themes. That's, you know, different planets and moons on planets. Like it just goes and goes and goes. Because I dislike having sort of generic names. I want it to mean something, and I want collections to be cohesive. So when you pick a proper theme, so I did sort of native orchids, say naked
orchids.
Native orchids of Eastern Australia, and they're all very unique. You don't get them anywhere else in the world, and you have to sort of look for them as well. So I collect old books, I collect reference books, old science books, guide books, botanical illustrations, and then that also helps with the photography. So yeah, you stick to a theme, helps with the naming, and I feel like they're unique. So,
They are.
Yeah, so that's what inspires me. Bits and bobs around, but even herbs in my garden. I'm a novice gardener, and I'm hoping this month that we're away it all survives, because it's getting pretty hot at home. But I did a sock set on the strawberries that we've just grown.
Nice.
Things like that. And I think when I see them in nature and I pick colours, they will go together. Usually if you stick with nature and you stick with colours that you see that you like together, they will translate in the dye pots as well. Yeah, so that's
good.
That's how I work.
Do you live very near a beach?
Yes,
Are
we
there
do.
good shells at that beach?
There are a couple. Because it's sort of I guess you would say a peninsula. There aren't lots and lots of different shells, but the harder you look, we have a lot of ones that you turn over and they're quite sort of rainbow and these sorts of colours
pretty
inside. And we get a few jellyfish as well that are really interesting to look at, and crabs. We get blue swimmer crabs.
Those crabs
so
were
this
pretty.
blue.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was showing the ladies the blue swimmer crabs. We can catch right off the beach. It's pretty cool.
They're
It's a
pretty
good
blue.
spot.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they go this really vibrant orange, when you cook them. So
They match up.
Complementary
Yeah.
colours.
yes, exactly. Right across the spectrum.
What kind of dyes? You were talking about your dyes that you use.
Yeah, so I use a local Australian-made dye,
Okay.
and it's been really interesting. I do collect a lot of hand-dyed yarn, and I did know already that our dye is quite different to what you guys have here. And it's interesting to see the different effects, and ours are sort of a bit more subtle, depending on how I dye it. If I want really strong speckles, I'll use less water and not agitate the pans at all, maybe do the cooking a little bit hotter. And then if I want the more watercolour look, this probably has sort of 7 or 8 different colours.
Really?
Some of them
Wow.
are the dye powder diluted into water in a
That is
solution,
beautiful.
and often then I will mix it with dry powder as well, different concentrations, and then sometimes I'll even mix them all together, or sometimes I'll let them settle and not move them. So it creates a different look to the hand dyes you have here from the different dye companies, and our dyes have citric acid added in already, whereas you have to add yours. So it just creates a different look, which I think is nice because it's something different.
I agree. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So,
We visited with Hannah about our next order. It's so nice to have you here to do that.
Yeah,
I
it was
know.
really
And it
fun.
was-
We're definitely going to need another order.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
we still have a few of these left. And we still have a bit of her yarn left, obviously, but
Well, a lot of customers wanted to make jumpers,
So
sweaters,
yes,
didn't
we'll
they?
get
So
some DK
DK is a really good idea for
and maybe
Montana.
some minis.
and some
Yep,
minis.
Yep.
But still,
But
we'll
still the BFL.
have this because
Yep.
I really do like this.
Yeah, it's a nice compliment to your collection, and what a collection! The store is beautiful. If you haven't been here in person, luckily I have a tiny bag, so I can't take too much.
We're going to
with me.
find a few things for you to take home, though.
But
yes.
yeah.
So we were talking. So to just because Hannah does like to just be inspired, so we're sending her with a couple of
thank you.
images.
Oh yes,
For
yeah,
the
of
dyeing.
images, yes.
Right.
We will send some things with you too.
Right.
But some
Yeah.
images, and so that'll be so fun to see.
This is a really good
when
idea.
it comes
yeah.
back.
Because I think I don't have a set menu of colours that I do. I like to have a custom collection for each retailer in each collection.
Which I really didn't know that when we got everything, but I was so excited. You know, this was going to be this custom color. And then she told us when she got here that pretty much every color we have is a custom color. You cannot get these anywhere else. So once she dyes them, and that's it.
And that's wonderful.
It is fun. As long as I can keep doing that, I will. We just. What were we saying again? How did we get onto that? I can't remember now.
I don't know. We were starting to talk about our inspiration, how you get inspired by things.
So no, it fits your shop nicely. I think it's good.
I think I'm glad you were able to come and see it.
For our next collection, just to kind of give you a hint,
teaser.
Yes, we've picked a couple of what we think are iconic Montana artists. And so one, I think for our sweater or the DK collection, which might be more appropriate for sweaters, is if you've heard of Russell Chatham. He is a Montana artist, and it's okay, I know how it's pronounced, from Livingston, and he had a unique style. He had beautiful paintings and lithographs that I just always kind of refer to it to as sort of a milky film over the whole thing, just like the fog. The fog is right there. So and then for our Dathliad collection, we thought more intense, bright colors. And I'm from Sydney, Montana, and there is an artist named Jerry Cornelia. He passed away last year. That we thought maybe we would use his work as inspiration. And I know a lot of you probably know who he is. So he's really fun and whimsical. So I know that those will be fun too.
Yeah. So we'll pick the image, and then I'll take sort of a collection of colours out of the image and put them all on the yarn. It'll be really, really fun.
I'm very excited.
It's a fun
Very
way to
excited.
work.
We'll post the picture.
Yes.
It'll be
Oh,
great.
yeah.
That's gonna be fun. Really exciting. Okay, and then you were talking about how, first of all, your people we know and you know, and that is so fun. But some of Hannah's yarn has appeared in quite a few designs over the years too, and so we just thought we would throw some of those out.
Designers that you would recognize for sure.
For you all to look up, and anyway, it's fun to see that, and so.
Yeah, that's always, that's amazing for us when designers use our yarn. And sometimes we'll send yarn to them and hope that one day they'll use it, or more lately we've sort of conversed about what they want in specific colours, and they have a project in mind that they'll use our yarn for. And that's always so exciting for us.
Just to interrupt, we have a couple of comments.
And
they're good ones. So Mark Clark said, "Very nice lady."
Oh. Well, thank you very much.
That sounds like a Marcus comment.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. So
yay. So I think, was this kind of recently, this one?
That was,
we had a couple people
last year
get some yarn for that
2 years
project.
ago with Hoagie.
So this, you did some kits, right? I mean, you said you were kind of going crazy with that.
Yeah, that was
so
wonderful
this
for
is
us.
the Lace and Fade Boxy from Hoagie. I could see that being, because she's got quite the following.
The way your colors are
the boxy was huge,
beautiful.
wasn't it?
The boxy was huge.
And so she rejigged the design to put the lace in with the silk mohair strand, and then a fade. So I live in Adelaide, and Hoagie lives in Buenos Aires, and it's the same latitude, so 34 degrees south. And so that is the name of the fade that I sent her.
Oh, it's
and that's
pretty.
what she did with it.
I love
it's
it.
so cool to see. You have your ideas and you send something, and then you see what comes out of it.
That's beautiful.
Really good.
So a couple of people went home with
some
kits
fades
for that. Yeah.
We did. Amazing to be able to pick some great
that's
fades.
fun.
out of the Dathliad.
So, and then Melanie Berg has some great designs, and this shawl is called Ghost Dancer.
Yeah.
And that one she designed using your yarn.
Yeah, yeah. That was a really interesting collaboration. She was really specific about the colours that she wanted.
And so I think we have
a
color similar.
Yes, we can
right
sort
here.
We made a few kits for that
blue.
yesterday.
And
then we complemented with an undyed from one of your other collections.
Yep. And then I think we added that. And then
we had this as well.
Oops, that's upside
Oh
down.
yeah, right.
That one and
pretty.
An undyed. Yeah. So
yeah, because if you look by her neck, there's a brighter blue, like little check area there.
There's lots
This
of
color
different
has some
photos.
beautiful red in there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then socks over the years. So Tracy Miller of the Grocery Girls used your yarn, and that is Hello Sunshine. That's a sweet little pattern.
Yeah, they were really fun, and I've made lots of different kits with maybe 2 minis as well, if people like to have the toes and the cuffs complemented as well as the heels. So and that's a really nice beginner sock pattern as well.
It's
very well written.
Very pretty, very pretty.
Yeah, really nice.
And Magnolia Socks by Helen Stewart.
Yes.
So she is from Australia, right?
She is Australian and was in London for many years, and she's back in Queensland. So, and a prolific designer. So her design company is Curious Handmade. Really beautiful patterns.
And Pebble Beach, we have a sample of that. That's one of her patterns.
Yeah.
There's quite a few Advent mini skein kind of projects that she does.
So there's the habitation throw, the anthology throw, just really good ideas for using up your Advent minis or your stash minis as well, leftovers.
There's a very pretty, I noticed it last year, a lightweight throw using stash or minis.
Yeah.
But I just think in the summertime, just having a little throw on your chair even outside would be lovely. In an ideal world.
In Montana.
In the AC.
In Montana. But I think in Australia it's probably...
Well, sometimes you want something over your shoulders in the evening, if it gets windy.
Well, Maddie, I made Maddie a blanket, and I'm like, I don't know when she's really going to use it. She's like, well, when I want to use it, I crank up the AC.
That's funny. And then this one, did we write it down?
That's the
right
Wave
there.
Crest.
Wave Crest
by Libby Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a lovely
that's gorgeous.
sweater.
And that's fingering, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a few people collect skeins for that one as well yesterday.
That is pretty. Very pretty.
Yeah.
And then we were just...
Katrin, who was here yesterday, she has a question. She said it was so nice to meet you yesterday, and may I ask, unless it's already been mentioned, how did you come up with the name Circus Tonic?
Okay. Well, we sort of touched on it before. So our surname is Ginn, and a lot of people mispronounce it as Gin. So I was sort of thinking of, how to bring that in, and so that's the tonic, gin and tonic, which is apparently your favourite drink.
Yes, it is.
And
any day of the week.
Also, tonic can have the meaning of a salve or a remedy for, whatever. And when I had, all the little kids, my mum would come to the front door and she'd be like, "What's happening in the circus?" Or I'd say, "Welcome to the circus." So a circus, I was very much, when I started this, living right in the middle of a circus. So Circus Tonic, that sort of, knitting is a remedy for this crazy life. You sit down, you have a few moments, and I actually used to be a quilter, and I couldn't have my back to the room at the sewing machine with the kids anymore. So that's when I started knitting, and it was perfect. I could just let the crazy happen around me,
circus.
But I would always be doing something that I would be, getting a sense of achievement from, and that's when I started the knitting. And then about 2 years later, I started dyeing. So Circus Tonic Handmade. That's how.
That's great.
It came about. Yeah.
That's really good. I like
there
that.
To stay.
I like that a lot. We have a connection with our first guest teacher for Yarn Bar was Anna Maltz back in 2018?
Yep.
And Anna we have a couple of her books still in the shop. And we were just chatting about that with you, getting to know you, and you say, oh, she's a good friend. And so,
Surprise.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And then you've got
Yeah.
some of her yarn was featured in one of these patterns
Yeah.
that in the book,
Yeah,
which is wonderful.
that's right. And she mentions she stayed at our house for a couple of weeks, one trip in Australia, and the trembling sweater.
That's a
yeah,
really nice design.
really beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It
And
was
That's a fingering weight sweater as well. So
and then she's marled the sections. It's so fun.
yeah,
And that's, I mean, I just love that. I really, really do.
Yeah,
And then there was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember what it was.
well, it's just funny that we all
I usually
know
can read your mind, but not today.
how many people and crossovers. I mean, I recently was lucky enough to go to Shetland Wool Week, and meeting people there who are customers of yours, and there's just so many connections. I love that.
Is that kind of how you found us?
Well, I'd followed you on Instagram for quite a long time, and I possibly even did because one of my other dye friends, Kelly, Miss Click Clack, had visited you years ago, and probably that's why I've followed you on Instagram since then.
And
So,
maybe when Anna was here too, because
Yep.
she was pretty
Yeah.
active on Instagram at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Another designer that you really like and we've been inspired by is Ellie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Skein Deer.
Skein
knits.
Deer.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to bring some mittens. I forgot.
So, yeah.
I mean, I met her in London a couple of months ago as well, and I followed her for years. I love that aesthetic and, the sort of colour work, and she introduced me to the sort of woolly wools and sort of said, okay, it's time you start looking at, I mean, we love all different types of yarns, but I guess as knitters you change your aesthetic and your preference over the years as you learn to knit new things. And she said, try Ralma phenol garn, and I'd never tried it before. And she actually sent me, because at that time we couldn't buy it in Australia, but there are one or two places you can now. And she sent me a package of them, and that was it. I just loved it from then on. And and then I saw that you guys are often inspired by her, and you have your phenol garn here. So
Yep.
I was very excited
Over
to
almost
see it.
90 colors. So,
Just
or
amazing.
more.
yeah, and so that was a fun connection as well. Yeah.
That is fun. I
Yeah.
love it. Love it.
Hey,
All right.
do you have your little project you're working on?
I've packed everything.
Oh, shoot.
I know, it's crazy.
She's making, is it a cowl or a hat?
Well, I was sort of leaving it open, but I think it's going to be a hat.
Okay.
I can go and get it now if you want, but it's our new merino possum blend, and these
Possum.
guys have loved it.
Oh, it's really
and
soft.
We'll try to
from
get
New
some.
Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I'll
said
try
it's
and get some.
hard to get that base.
It's just hard to get enough, for everybody, and getting it over from New Zealand, but I will try, definitely. But it is amazing. It would be fantastic for Montana. It really would be. It's super warm, a really good sustainable brand and yarn. So, yeah.
I know what I was going to say. So, Andrea, the Fruity Knitting podcast.
Ah, yes.
You were on that one quite
was.
early on. It sounds like
I think it was probably 2018.
your kids
late
were really
2018.
little. And,
yeah, they were little, and Madeline was traveling in Australia, and she came and we did an episode together. So we did a planning day, and then we did an actual filming day, and we got the tick of approval from Andrea, so it was lucky.
Yeah, we'll look that up. That's a nice podcast.
I think it's in the 60s. I think it's some
the number, not in the year 60s.
Yeah, not the year
Okay.
1960.
Back in the
Number.
60s when my kids were little. Yeah, and then we've had the Wool Kitchen yarn just as a pop-up.
Her yarn was one of
years
the
ago.
first hand-dyed yarns I ever bought.
Okay,
Yeah, amazing.
that's fun.
Yeah, and that East London collective of artists, there's so many smart, incredible people around that area. So I loved going to visit that with Ellie in September. It was so exciting. Yeah, I
That's
loved
great.
it.
Yes, we can't thank you enough for coming to
Oh,
Billings.
it's been
know.
so good. I'm so glad I came. I've had a lovely time. So thank you for hosting me. And yeah, it was so much fun.
And she's really not gone yet, so her
Yep,
plane
still here
doesn't
till
leave.
midday.
Probably won't. Yeah, so I would say if you can make it in by lunch time,
Yep,
like
yep.
noon, you might get a
Yeah.
chance
Yeah.
to see her and talk to her and help maybe plan a little project with her,
Yeah,
which
that's-
she knows her yarn.
Yes,
like the back.
Hannah's been
Yeah.
quite
yeah,
helpful in the
she's-
shop.
Yeah.
I figured out where everything is
She's helped a
now.
couple
It's been
customers who
fun.
weren't shopping for her yarn, so
Yeah, that's been really, really nice.
Oh, but the shop is just beautiful, and I've loved you've got twinkly lights in the front, and having Christmas lights that you can see by 4 p.m. is a real novelty for me, because we like doing Christmas, but it's light
When does
till
the sun-
10, probably 9:30, 10 sometimes it'll be.
because in Brisbane
it's opposite.
like
Yeah.
gets dark at 6:30 like all the time.
So in Adelaide, the sun sets over the sea right near at the house. So I either have to let the kids stay up way too late so they can see the Christmas lights, or I just don't do them.
Oh, huh.
So it's been really cozy and lovely in here.
Oh, good.
So yeah,
Too bad we
Didn't
don't have any
snow.
snow.
I know,
It's
I
been
know.
I
quite
looked out
dry.
my window
It
this morning and I was
almost-
like, no.
It almost snowed yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
But
So then you're going to head down to the Denver area
Yes,
this afternoon.
Today I am, and
You
then
might-
I head
I don't
on
know.
to Texas as
Okay.
well,
Mhm.
and then I rejoin my family in Nevada for Christmas. So
Fun.
yeah,
When will you be back to Nevada?
Saturday I think.
Okay. So
and
a
when
few
will
more
you
days
be
on the
back
road.
to your house?
We actually get home on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a long
so it's a
holiday.
good trip, and we've never been to the States before, so I took the kids to Disneyland last week, and the aunties, we all got on every ride. It was a lot of fun.
Trip
It was
of
a
they'll
trip of a
remember
lifetime.
that forever.
Yeah.
They will, and
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
fun.
they realize yet how special it all has been until
I think
they
it's
get
really
home
good
and-
though that they are old. They're all old enough to remember.
Yes.
And carry their own
yeah.
suitcases.
Right.
Yeah, definitely, and they like to do that, and
Yeah.
also go on all the rides. Like when we were there,
Yeah,
'cause
you got to
2
be a
years
certain
ago,
height.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been able to.
Oh, right.
And I did see a few heartbreaking things where these kids are like on their tiptoes trying to get to the line, and they were like, no.
Oh,
So
shoot.
no, it's been a great trip, a perfect timing for our family, and yeah. But thank you
Fun.
so much for having me.
Yay,
It was
You're
just
welcome.
so nice.
you.
are
Thank you
so
very
welcome.
much.
So I think that about wraps it up, you guys.
Okay.
So we are super excited, and we hope you will join us next week. We'll find out who wins one
I
of
know.
her beautiful
Yeah.
skeins.
Yay.
So thank you. Okay, you guys
Okay.
have to chat. for a
Okay,
second
we'll
while
chat.
while I go.
There is an ambulance outside. That's kind of
Oh,
strange.
no.
I wonder what's happening.
Huh.
Well, it's
Huh.
hopefully not for any of us.
It's not
No.
for any of us, but yeah, anyway. It's like Mrs. Kravitz.